started the recording. Okay, let's make sure I'm on the right screen. I'll go down here. Okay, that is okay. You should be seeing the algo. I don't trade this thing here from 11 to 2:30, or sometimes I don't even trade it till 3, because hardly anything moves between 11 and 3. So I try to stay out of those trades that are maybe sometimes even they get closer to the afternoon around 11 o'clock. It's enough time, 2 in the morning till 11 o'clock to trade. So it's same thing when you're trading with our original algo, which we use as well. Trade from 2 in the morning till about 11 this morning, 2:30 to 4 o'clock. Those are the best times to trade. That's when you get the most movement, and that's when institutional investors are inactive. They don't stay active all day. They already made up their mind what they're going to get into, what they're going to sell within those times. But lunchtime is basically a dead market. It doesn't move too much up and down unless on a days when you have lots of news coming out. Okay, so the first thing, how does the algo work? And then I'm going to get to you some of the questions right on. Just quickly, I think it's better to just to go over it. So anybody new, there's 2 lines on this chart. Actually, there are 3 also moving averages that are used, but I don't have them on the screen because I don't need them for trading purposes. Okay, so trading purposes, you only need the 2 lines. You need the top line, which is a resistance line, and the bottom line, which is a support line. So when the price moves above this here, it breaks the resistance and moves to the upside. When the line breaks to the downside, the price breaks to the downside, it breaks the support, and the price goes to the downside. So when do the trades happen? Okay, when do the trades happen? Trades happen above the line and the bottom of the line. They do not happen in between the lines. Between these lines, you will never see a trade. Unless the trade was already taken, it's closing a trade. For example, this was closing the trade in between. It will never take a trade in between the lines. Okay, so that is where I consider is consolidated area. You know, when certain stocks are moving, they're not moving. It's they all go sideways, and when they move sideways, they're usually within this box. Then they're not going anywhere. They're right in the middle. So that's when you really don't want to do any trading. You want to trade when the market starts to move either to the upside or the downside. So I'm just going to take for example this trade right there. Okay, this trade here at 7:15 in the morning broke. First the price must. Okay, I'm going to give you a close up here. The price must close on the previous candle above this line. And once this line price closes above, on the open of the next candle, it will go take a long trade. So this one closed above. Didn't matter what time it closed, as long as it closes within the this is a 5-minute chart. That's what I use. You can use 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Soon as it takes it above the next line, you take the trade. So this took the trade around 7:33. That's what this algo took it at. 7:33, and it closed it at 7:49. So this is about 16 points. That's $310 on this trade. That's on the NQ, but on the big contract. But if you're taking a smaller contract, you got about what, 31 bucks, right? $310 on this one. What else? That's not. Let's say forget the 310. Take 200. Take $100. That's a profitable trade. And then it started going sideways. If you didn't take, how do I trade it? This is how the algo traded. The algo took the trade here, it closed the trade here. Okay, so before I go any further than that, when there's a price movement here. When you are doing, let's say, if you let the algo take the trade, it's gonna put a trade over to your interactive broker. Remember, when the price is moving, just because this is just like a human, right? Let's say you put your mouse right there to go into the trade. The thing is, you have to watch is the movement, this price movement here. Let me bring up my paper trading account here to show you that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one right here. So when this price went in at this here at 731, it's gonna send a price. If you got it hooked up to the auto trading software, and you're sending your trades into IBKR, you're sending it here. And when it goes into a trade, see how this moving up and down? By the time this button gets pressed and by the time it gets here, it's called a slippage. Either the price it can enter here or it can enter here. Just a 4 or 5, even a 2-3 point movement, you will not get the perfect price that TradingView gives you. TradingView gives you a perfect price. It gives you a perfect trade. So if you look at the 710 trade, it gives you a perfect entry and a perfect exit. Unfortunately, in the real world, that doesn't happen. Okay, because this is what you're getting. You're getting a movement here. So when you enter the trade here, and see how fast it moved. You're ready to put a trade in here, and the price moved on you. It's called a slippage. So that's why I'd say when this TradingView is trading for you, I rather put a limit price. So when I buy it, let's say this thing comes in at, let's say 732. This is what it tells me to take a trade. What I do is I usually let the software take the trade. Doesn't matter where it takes the trade, I let it take the trade. Once it takes a trade, I turn this software off. I turn this off here, this algo. Okay, how do I do that? One, you can also go in here, go into the alerts, and you can pause it from here. But I made something for you in the software. I'll show you that. You don't have to come in here and turn this off. Okay? You don't have to do that. Okay? You don't have to come in here and turn this off. I'll show you how. Okay? So this software moves very quickly. Let me go back again. The movement is very quickly. So same thing when you want to exit. When this thing gives you a signal to exit right here, you're not going to catch a perfect here unless you're doing it manually. The algo will send a signal here. It will either catch it higher or lower. And that's why when you see these trades, this is the paper trading account here, guys. Let me bring this forward. Why can't I bring right there? So when you look at these trades, look at all these trades as it's done. Okay, this is all automatic trades done. It doesn't catch the same profit margin, the stuff that the algo catches on TradingView. So if you look at TradingView, last trade, hang on, what I've done. I want to bring this. See the last trade here at 12.10, it made $110 profit. This is what it would have done in your real account. Had you traded this IBKR in the real account, you would have made $110. But let's move this aside and look what this algo has done. Look what the TradingView has done. If you go into a TradingView, that last trade, what did it make? It actually lost 260. On the last trade, in IBKR was profitable, while the trade in the TradingView was actually negative 320 bucks. So this actually benefited you. It benefited us. So do you see what I mean? Okay. When the price movement, there's so much slippage, you got to be very careful when the price is moving very fast. At 12.10, it got into the trade. 12.10.31, it got out of the trade with profit. Well, this trade here, sorry, that's not the same trade. Why didn't it take? There's something here, time frame difference. Oh, 140. It closed the trade at 140. Why does it show 140 on this? Okay, something gone amiss here. Something is changed here. This one closed the trade at 140. See that there? And this one closed at 12.10. Something went wrong here. So this one here, even the signal sent into, this is the same signal sent. Okay, it is a short here. It is a short. It didn't on the TradingView. It hasn't even closed the signal yet. It's still open actually. The trade is still open on TradingView, but Interactive Broker already closed the trade. So it must have sent a signal here. So let's go back in here into Interactive Broker and see if it did send the signal. Yeah, it did actually. TradingView already sent a signal at 110 to close the trade. Okay, it placed a market order at 110. It opened at 110. It 110.30. It's actually sent a signal. So why didn't the signal show up here? It didn't. It missed the signal here. So something happened here. Okay, this is great. Probably found a problem here, probably an issue, but it did close the trade in TradingView, and you can see in trade. Look, the trade is still open, and it's still a move. It hasn't closed. See, it's still open here. It hasn't closed the trade. So something happened in here that it didn't. That's why I like to fall when I do trade on this thing. I always keep my eye on it. Okay, I let it trade, but I keep my eye on it to what happened. So this trade is still open here. So everybody see that? I mean, anybody have any questions on this? I don't want to confuse people. Okay. Everybody see that that trade is still open. Something has gone amiss, but the TradingView Interactive Brokers already closed the trade. Okay, and it even sent a signal, but there's no indication here it closed the trade. Something's gone wrong here. Okay, so that is an issue that I need to look at. But you guys understand when TradingView sends a trade into your account, it will send it right at this time, right at this moment. Okay, once it sends it into IBKR, IBKR has that slippage. You will never get a perfect time. That's why I always trade manually. I always I'll let it take the trade in TradingView, but I will close it manually myself. So I pause. You can pause it here, right? You can go in here, pause it. But I'll show you another thing that I use in the in here in TradingView that I have already, okay, set up. So far, any questions? Okay, so again, the one question was, when do I take the trade? I take the trade when the price first has to close above it, and the next candle I will take it on the open. And that's what the algo does as well. And same thing here on the short side, the price must close below the white line. Then on the next open of the candle, take a short. Same thing it did here. Same thing it did here when it opened the trade to the upside. This opened the trade to the downside. Look this is where I sometimes, what I'll do, I will pause this thing. I will pause it. The reason I will pause it is when you got a long candle like this below the white line, I like to take the trade as close to the white line as possible. Okay? And if it's too far off, sometimes I won't even take it. If it's a long candle and takes a trade down here, I won't take the trade. I will stop the trade. Okay, I do stop the trade because that's when you're very, very far away from this candle. But it's in the auto trading, I usually let it take the trade, and I close it very quickly. Like this one here took a trade right here in the open, and you can close that trade very closely, and we did close this trade very fast, as I told very quickly. So I went through some of the trades with you guys this morning. I went and I told you guys took the trade and went out. Same thing. This one here took a trade to the upside, and then it went all the way down here, then pumped back. It actually closed right in between two lines. Okay. Any questions? I know it's a little complicated. Is it complicated or is it simple for you guys? How to remove moving averages? Very simple. Go in here in the setup, uh, go in the style. Look, I got them unticked. Like when you got ticked, there's too much information. I don't need these here. Okay, I don't need to see them. Just unclick them. They're just much cleaner. Okay, you see that? Anybody else have a question? Okay, I'm just quickly taking a look at if were any other questions here. I know there were a bunch of the questions, but I think you guys are shy not to don't want to ask in the class here. Okay, some of the other questions was do I use a white line? I don't use a white line in here. Only lines I use is this top line and this line here. That's it. Those are the only two lines. To be honest with you, I don't check the volume on this one. Remember when we break a support line, resistance lines, or trend lines, we always check for support for volume. If you get a high volume or not. For these, I have not. This is a little bit different. It's a little bit built in. So when this breaks above here, I don't check for volume. You can do that if you want, but you can. Okay, I don't. A lot of times it's already breaking to the upside as it's breaking out. So if the results if you look at in the trading view, they're perfect results. Okay, perfect results. They are as best they could. That's why I'd say you can never achieve the perfect results here if you only can grab half of that. So this since June 8th to September 28th made $119,000. Even if you can get maybe 3/4 or half of that, okay, that's $60,000 since June, July, August. 3 months. I think you'll be pretty happy with that. But when I trade manually, I actually get better results. When a trade like this happens, if this trade here, for example, went short here, this algo closed it here. I can manually close this trade all the way down here, and I can double my profit on this one. Right? There have been trades like this one here. It took a trade here, right? This here, and closed it here. But look at all the other money that I made on this algo. I actually made that money on this morning. If you look in the chat, actually made almost close to $1,300 on this trade. And what did the algo make 3 o'clock in the morning? On this one here, it took a trade around 325, 320. So let's take a look at how much it made at 320 this morning. So let's go to the 320 trade. Here it is. It's made $280. Actual, you could have made $1,300 as it was running up. So you understand what I mean when you say you can make a better manual trades than this here. Than actually the algo. Algo is very quick, but it's profitable, and you see that in Interactive Broker, right? Right, you see that in here. This is what it made so far, just today. This is just started here, trade history. Where'd it go? Okay, summary. This is for 3 days. Let's bring it down to 1 day. So this is what it made today, since 6 o'clock 1:30 this morning. Okay, since 1:30 this morning, all by itself, it made $650. It did 9 trades. It paid $40 in commissions. We count the commissions in, right? And $609 since this morning by itself, by you not doing anything at all. Okay, that's what could have made. But you saw $1,300 on one trade. If you just made $1,300 on one trade, you go back to sleep rest of your days. You don't need to trade. What are you happy with? You can find one good trade, you're done. A lot of people ask for, make a couple of $100 a day. You would have been done 3:50 in the morning. You would have made a couple of $100, right? But here I'm going to show you how you don't have to pause it from here. You can go here into the software, right here, this trade here, okay? What you can do is go into the inputs, okay? Then go down here, take this trailing feature off, use this, uncheck this, and go to manual. Use manual take profit. It will enter the trade for you when you click this here, but it won't close the trade for you. It won't. Even though it shows it here, close it. Because why? Because I put a limit here of 80 ticks. Okay? 80 ticks is $400. I put a $400 profit. In case I forget to close it, it will close the trade at $400. So this trade here at 3:20 in the morning, instead of me closing it, it would have closed it for $400. So if I go back to 3:20 in the morning, let's go back to 3:20. This right there. There's $400 profit. See, I set the limit to 400. It would take the profit 400 each time. After the $400, but you can increase this to 800. Just put 160 ticks there, right? But you can close it anywhere before it gets to $800, right? It won't close your trade till it gets to $800 if you put 60 ticks in there. Okay, you can do that. Let it take the trade and change this. The 80 ticks will give you a maximum $400. So every time it made 400, it will get out. Okay. A lot of people would say, where is my stop loss on this? Where's my stop loss? There is a professional trader. This is his direct words. Professional trader that does exactly the same thing what I'm showing you. He said occasionally, when he's a trader, he takes a big risk. He takes big risk each time. His risk is like taking $800 each time. Okay? Every time he's taken a risk on trading on futures like this, he takes a risk of $800. But he said he trades one NASDAQ contract. But when he does trade, most of his trades are closed before it ever gets even close to $800 loss. Okay. For example, this one here, again, let me get rid of this here. This one here, what your loss would have been, very simple. Okay. This is built into the algo. If you didn't take it your own, what it would do is it would close the trade here. It would, as soon as it broke this, you took the trade here, but this would take a big risk by closing a trade here. But you don't have to. You can also do is if this algo comes below here and closes below this line, that could be your stop loss. Your stop loss obviously going to be a little bigger, but you're going to win most of the trades, right? Just like in TradingView. If you go into TradingView, let me go back to the trailing feature where it closes a trade on its own. But these are the trades where you should have, all these trades you should have made $400. All these, when was the last loss? This one here, $425. This was lost September 17th. And then it lost another one for $230. Then lost $295, $465. You're gonna have these. You started trading here. The first one you lost $465, then you made $400, then you made. You're gonna get frustrated by the time here. That's where you have to be, disciplined. You have to be disciplined. You know this is going to happen. It's showing you this is happening, all right? But look at how many times does it make a loss? How many times it actually makes money? The odds, longest you, here's a $1,200 loss. Somebody went into a trade like that and they lost 1,200. They would never trade again. Say this algo sucks. I lost, I went, I used it and I lost 1240. As long as you follow the rules, right? As long as you follow the truth, you win most of your trades. You're gonna have your trades once in a while here. You're gonna miss. Okay. So you can, if you guys are talking about settings, I can copy those settings. I'll put them in the chat here. I get out of the trade when I'm trading manually. I get out of the trade if the price closes below here, before the line. Okay. I wait for the close. A lot of times it will come here and go right back up. Or same thing when the price is going, I'm shorting it here. I shorted here, the price comes up here, I'll get out. Can I? Okay, let's go through some of the questions. Keep asking those questions, guys. This is the only way to learn. This algo, I'm heads over heels for it because I know it makes money. I know it makes money. And trade, this is one NQ contract. Trade one contract, like a small contract, till you get it perfect. And it's so simple, this. And make sure you're trading only between 2 and 11. I can't emphasize that enough. Trade between 2 and 11. And trade the 2:30 or till 4 o'clock. Okay, so that's when I get out of the trade, Deepak, is when it closes below up. When I'm trading to the upside, if it closes below, and I'm trading to the downside, it closes above the line. Okay, that's how I do it manually. The algo, if you leave it on the trailing feature, it will do it on its own. Okay. But you don't have to change any settings, really. It's what you want. Okay. You don't have to change the settings. These are the settings that don't touch these settings. I would not touch any of these ones here. They come as they're set. You can play around. You can play if you want. I tried playing. These are the best settings I've been able to get. Some I try changing. You can get different results, but I kept it to a very simple. You can get better results here, but it lacks some of the other stuff. It moves the other stuff, so I don't try to change much on here. Just keep the same setting. They come with these settings. The next setting is what you want to do. You want to use a trailing feature? These are the numbers I'm using. 37.25, and I use a trail offset by 7 points. These are the numbers that I use. So if you guys want to write them down, or I will copy and paste it in the chat. So if you want to you take it profit manually, this is ticks, guys. Each is a tick. So in 1 point in the Nasdaq the NQ contract, or even the MNQ contract, you have 4 ticks in 1 point. So you multiply how many ticks you want to set this for. So 80 ticks is $400. If I change this to 40, it will be $200. So there are 4 ticks in each point. Just remember that. Okay, 4 ticks. So there are other ways of trading as well. It's up to you guys want to try. These ones work well too, but it's up to you how you can try different things, guys. I said it. You can take a profit 3-4 different ways, and all you have to do is click here, which one ever works for you. This is a manual one, and this one is a trailing one. This one will do everything automatically. This one here will take the trade, but you're gonna have to exit yourself. So don't ever leave it here and then you got into a trade and it, by the time you get back, you either got $1 million profit or you got $1 million loss. You don't want to do that. Okay. You don't have to change any settings other than these settings right here. Okay. Can I enter manually, and what stop loss should be, as I am using prop firm? Also, please read. Again, I repeated the days from 2 to 11, 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Can I enter? Yes, manually. I talked about that. You can enter right here as the price closes above, enter the trade, right? So price closes above on the previous candle. This one closed up right there, and then it sorry, right, this one closed here, and it came down, and it went back up. This one here. This was early in the morning. And here, remember this morning when I said I saw this price, but I didn't take the trade because the price started going below. Just because it closed above here, what direction? Because this was manually trading this one here. I was on manual trade. It did. The software would take the trade, but if you pause it, you would take the trade the other way. Okay, you can't, this happened here, but it closed way back up here. If this had kept on going, it would exit here. That's where the exit would have been. That would have been quite a bit loss. Yes. So you can always did I answer your questions? ES and NQ has same setting? No. You have to, this one here is for NQ. For ES, you gotta play with them and see what the best settings are for you. What you want to do is when you go in, get into ES here, when you put ES up, and take a look at it. Is this good? Is this giving you a pretty good sign? And play with them. So it looks, these are the same setting as the NQ right now, and they're pretty good, right? This took a short trade here, made a good money here. Remember, in ES, it's 50 for a point. And it's still, if you put for the number of ticks, if you're trading manually, each 4 ticks is 1 point. Same thing as in the NASDAQ. Okay, looks like it's doing pretty well, right? This was at 3 o'clock in the morning as well, 3:20. Remember that? And it took a trade with the NQ. This was the same thing. It did pretty well. Actually, probably, let's see what the win ratio is on this one. Let me go back up. So, see, the win ratio is not the same here. So, you're going to have to play with the numbers. What you do is you play with these settings on this here. Let me show you what you have to play with. You have to play with these settings here. You got to play with these settings here to bring this into a profitable word that gives you a good profit. Okay, and if you go back into the settings here, like where is input? Okay, this was a manual profit. This is what the settings are. But if you go into back to the, let's see what it does for manual profit, and unclick this one. Now it turns profitable. So depending on what method of closing you use, okay, and you obviously in the manual take profit is again, it's not when you, let me tell you one thing, when you take this manual take profit, this is misleading. You're not, this doesn't count then. When you are into a manual mode, it's completely different. This is what the algo would do. Okay, this is what the algo would do, and you would remember you're closing the trades manually. Did you guys understand this part? What I'm talking about when you're doing manual, you're not going to get the same results here. Your results going to be, I think, going to be better. They're going to be profitable when you use them, but they're going to be a better profit for you when you use the manual side, right? But this is not, the results in a manual mode are not the same here. I think manually you're going to be make money much better both on the ES and the NQ. Okay, everybody understand that? Anybody have a question? Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Panji. Let's one thing like that software again for trading. How did we get these trades automatic? These are all auto trades. These are not nothing that I did not interfere with it. I made more money trading manually than it's in here. I obviously made more money than this year already. Okay, so manually, trading manually. But here, let's go to how to set that up. How do you set this up to trade? I'm gonna go back to the NQ. NQ is my favorite. That's I just love trading NQ. Uh, how do we set up to do that in the interactive broker? Okay, very simple, guys. First, you gotta put the algo on here. Your algo, you gotta put it on the chart, and then you gotta have the setting. Do you want to trade manually or trading feature? What do you want to use? So you go in here, you set that up. Okay, you set it up in here. You set all this up. Make sure that if you're gonna trade auto you're gonna use the auto, then you're gonna use this one here, right? Click on this. It will do automatic trades for you. Okay, you gotta set this up. Okay, so then say just okay, and then go into alerts here. Click on that. Now you're setting up for the software. Okay, the software here. First condition, you gotta see this here. It must be here. So when you get a drop down, you're gonna get it again. You're gonna get this choice, and you're gonna select this. Once you got that set up, you're gonna go into the message part. What is the message here? Okay, I'm gonna select. I'm gonna show you one already done here. So let me close this one here. I'm gonna select this message. I'm gonna say edit. Okay, so I'm editing the message that's already done. I already put the message in here. This is the message. And where does this message come from? This message comes from the software that you're using. Any software, whatever software you're using at the middle, you gotta put it in here. Okay, you gotta put the message in here. So this message will send this to your software, whatever you're using for trading. If you're using Traders Post.io or you're using the software that I got. Okay, my software only works for interactive brokers. It does not work for prop firms or doesn't work for any of that. Okay, I only use it to trade in my real account in interactive broker. But the Traders Post, you can use it for prop funds. Okay, you can use it for prop funds. Okay, this is what I use. This is the message that you gotta put in here. Excuse me for a second, guys. Thank you. Okay, so that you gotta put that message in here. Okay, once you get where does the message come from? It comes from this software. That let me bring it forward. Yeah. It comes from this software. This is the Electro Bridge that I had software made for myself. And the guy is charging $100 licensing fee to get into it. If anybody's interested in getting this same software, it's a one-time fee of $100. Okay, so this is a licensing fee. So where do I put here? So where's the message come from? The message in here. This is the message. You copy and paste that message in there. And the rest, there's a few changes you have to do. So how does this communicate with TradingView? This is how it does. It's through webhook. It has an IP address. It sends a message in here, and then it sends a message into your interactive broker account. Okay. This has your interactive broker account information. It has the account right there, right? So it also got your, other information as well. Where is the other? Let me show you that. So this information here. It's I'll share if anybody wants to connect what's this all about. So it's got all that information in here, and you must put it in the webhook right there. Okay, this is where your this is where your that webhook. Remember that IP address? That's where it goes here, and this must match with the software. If it doesn't match, it won't communicate with it. Okay, you can play a sound here. You can send yourself an email. Okay, it's all that information that needs to be in here, and then it sends it to that middle software that I just showed you, right? This software, the signals go in here, these are signals come, and then you get an order fill. It tells you your status right there, right? You can only run this one software on one machine. You can run it on the second machine separately, but if you're trading a real account and you're trading a demo has to be on one account, the real has to be on another machine. You cannot run both on the same machine. Okay, you cannot run both demo and live account on the same machine. So this one is a demo account. Again, that's a middle software. Then you got to go into your interactive broker account right here. Then you got to set up your IP. Global configuration, go to API and go to into settings. You set up all this here. And the message comes in here. It communicates to this port here, 7497. That's how it communicates to that software and enable your API. This is a communication. This is why I like IBKR so much, because they got all this stuff for auto trading already set up. You can also use Python, other languages as well, if you directly, if you know how to set it up, if you know how to set up that software, you can do that as well. Okay, so everybody understand, guys? Any questions how to hook this up? You guys I must explain it too well, or you're not getting anything what I'm trying to say. Anybody have a question? Are you connected to the yes, I am. My real account is connected to the auto. I'm showing you the paper account. My real account is connected to the auto for the cloud, because I trust that more internet running all the time. You got your power. Like once I got all this hooked up to my trading view, I can in the cloud I can actually shut down my own computer. I don't need my computer running. That's the best, and the beauty part of it is when you got the computer in the cloud, you know it's going to have power 24 hours a day. You know it's going to have the internet all day. But if you run it on your machine, you never know when your machine's going to shut down. So the software that you need is, you can go to traderspost.io. You can go there, or you can pay a licensing fee for my software, which you can have forever, which you will have one license, and the thing is, you won't have to pay monthly. But the problem is, it only hooks to interactive broker. Okay. No, I haven't asked, Pandy. I haven't asked. I should ask that guy, see if it can. I should do that. Should ask him. But then he may have to readjust everything, so he might charge for it, right? He probably could. I could ask him. Yeah, good question. Yeah, I should. I'm gonna send a message to him. I'll ask him. I'll ask him if he can do it. If he can do it, I'll definitely try to get that. Anybody else have any other questions? If he can, whatever the charge is, I'll put it on the screen here. We can all divide it. I'm sure we can pay for that. Even if it costs $1,000, we can all get together and pay for it. No problem. We can all share. Any other questions, guys? Anybody have questions? That's it. I'm gonna stop recording this and I'll put the recording up soon as I'm done.